welcome back. Well, today I am joined by Assemblywoman Cottie Petrie-Norris, who is here on behalf of course, the Assembly. And we want to talk to you about just like the whole 2020 year. And I know you have some updates to give us what's happening right now, and then just kind of a recap of what we've been dealing with over the last year almost. So welcome.
Well, thank you so much, Lisa. It's always good to be here and good to have the opportunity to talk with you and the folks in Laguna Woods.
So why don't we start off with, you have a congratulations in order.
Yes, I do. So I would just like to offer my warmest congratulations to Edward Tao, the newest member of the Laguna Woods City Council. And of course, we, like all of the Laguna Woods community, miss Joe Rainey and extend our deepest sympathies to Pat Albers and to his entire family amidst this holiday season. The impact that he made on Laguna Woods will be felt for a long time to come.
Right, and you know, we've been active in interviewing the majority of them over the years, and you're absolutely right. And now I understand there's some sort of a resolution that you guys are going to be doing.
Yes, there is. My office is preparing a memorial resolution to honor Councilmember Rainey, and we'll be presenting that to his family in the coming weeks.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome. All right, so let's jump into our current situation. You and I had a little bit of a discussion offline regarding what's happening with COVID right now. And before we get into some of the testing, tell me kind of where we're at right now. I know things are kind of all over the map.
Well, Lisa, since the start of this pandemic, we have been talking about this kind of dreaded winter surge, and it really is upon us right now. We are at a very grim moment in our battle with the COVID-19 virus. And while the approval of the vaccine and the start of the vaccine rollout certainly does give us all hope, and is certainly a light at the end of the tunnel, we are far from out of the woods. And the statistics are really scary right now. Cases are spiking, hospitalizations are spiking, ICU capacity is maxing out. In America right now, every 40 seconds, an American dies of COVID-19. So this is a really tough moment, and it is, you know, that's why it's more important than ever that every one of us is doing our part to flatten the curve and to slow the surge so that we can save lives and protect our community.
Right now, you know, the folks here in Laguna Woods really have done a fantastic job, and they've done their part. They stay home. You know, I've talked to many of them, and they really are afraid, of course, as they should be, because they are of the highest risk. But I will say that they are very good about their distancing and their masks. So with the new stay-at-home orders that we have right now, it's a little harder for them, I think, primarily because we talk a lot about this, you know, stay-at-home sort of isolation, and we want to get out, we want to do things, and there are ways to do that. So at least we haven't closed the beaches, and we haven't closed walking outside and things like that. So describe to me some of the things that they should be concerned about.
Well, in response to this surge, as you said, the governor announced a regional modified stay-at-home order, really just to do everything we can to slow this spike and to slow the severity of what we're seeing right now in our ICU and emergency rooms. There are still, we want to make sure that people do continue to stay connected, and we know that mental health is so important right now. And the governor and I and certainly my family, we continue to emphasize the importance of being outside and doing outside activities, continuing to exercise, continuing to do everything that you can to take care of your physical and mental well-being, and to realize that physical distancing doesn't have to mean social distancing, and ensuring that we are finding ways. And I know we've all become incredibly creative over the last several months at finding ways to stay connected to family and friends, even in this time of physical separation.
Exactly. And, you know, we've been promoting opportunities for people to go to various places to look at Christmas lights and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can drive around in your car and you can see all sorts of great stuff. And that's where you said, people are getting really creative and they're doing these big, long things of lights and fun stuff. So people don't feel like, oh, we just have to completely give up on Christmas and the holidays
Right.
and things like that. So that's really great.
Well, and I know I've read news reports that people are decorating their house for the holidays, like, at a level that has never been seen before. And actually just this weekend, my husband and boys went to try to buy our Christmas lights to decorate our house, and the shelves were bare. Everything was gone. So they managed to find some supplies. And so our weekend activity was decorating our house, and we took it up a few notches, which I think is what a lot of folks are doing. Since we're going to be spending time at home, it may as well, my tree is just there, it may as well be festive, so we can still celebrate the holidays.
Exactly. And that's funny because, of course, the movie comes to mind, that Christmas Vacation one.
Yes.
You practically can see it from space, So I'm sure a lot of these homes will be able to be seen from the space.
Exactly.
Wearing the mask, and, I like the way that you referred to it as, physical distancing rather than socially distancing. And I feel like for the last 9 months, we have called it social distancing. But again, we have to be careful because we don't want people to feel isolated. When you talk with the governor, and, there's been some stuff that's happened and people are, well, I don't like this and I don't like that. I mean, what are some of your conversations on how people should perceive what he's trying to do?
I'll say there really is no playbook for a pandemic. And to the very best of our ability, California has done everything we can to be led by data, led by science, led by facts. And I do believe that as we've gone through this, it's been confusing because we're all learning. Every single day, we're learning more information about this virus. It's the first time that we have battled COVID-19. I know looking back, there's going to be a ton of lessons for us to learn. And, from my perspective, I think the better job that we can do at being clear with people and being really clear, not just about what we're asking, but about the why behind it. I think that that's so important in terms of bringing people along with us. And so that is what I continue to urge our public health officials to do, both at the state level and at the county level, is do everything we can to make it clear for people and to ensure that we are all on the same page. We all have the same understanding and we realize we're on the same team, pushing in the same direction.
That's good. I'm glad you said that because, I think a lot of people are very concerned and they don't know which way to go sometimes. And, if you can make sure that all of the officials are very clear on what the goal is and how to get there, I think we would all really appreciate that. So thank you for that. Now, moving forward, we already talked about wearing the mask and making sure that we distance. What are some other things that the residents can do to help ease their fears?
Well, one of the most important things that we want to encourage people to do is, if you've been exposed, if you're having any kind of symptoms, if you've had a contact that you're concerned about, is to get tested. So in the early days of this pandemic, we talked a lot about how our testing was so constrained, but we've done a tremendous job at building testing capacity. And as you and I were talking about, there are just these incredible scientists and researchers who have been able to bring new testing solutions to the market. And just recently, Orange County announced a new at-home saliva test. So you can order this online on the Orange County Health Agency website. And you can get a test delivered to your home that you can do yourself just by spitting, in the cup, which is pretty incredible. So it's a really easy way if you are concerned, if you've been exposed. Don't hesitate to do that. And the other thing I always like to share is a new system to help with contact tracing. It's called CA Notify. And I think there's on the screen some information about how folks can sign up for that. It's completely optional, but it enables people to download this contact tracing app on their phone. So if you're somewhere where there's been a known exposure, you will get an alert so that you can get a test. You can ensure that if you've got the virus, you take the necessary steps, or you can assure yourself that you don't. So that's another new thing that we're encouraging folks to take advantage of as well.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I haven't actually checked into that yet, so I will have to do that. Looking forward, we're hearing all about how the vaccines have arrived on the West Coast, the East Coast. It really is full force. So what do we have to look forward to here in Orange County?
Well, as I said, this is such a light at the end of the tunnel for so many of us. And yes, the first vaccines were actually just distributed in California. The very first doses are being received here in Orange County. There's an initial batch of 25,000 doses that will be received. So we are in the middle of living history right now as we begin the phased rollout of this vaccine. And actually, I just got a little emotional just thinking about it. So it is going to be distributed in a phased fashion. So phase 1A will be high risk healthcare workers and first responders. Phase 1B are residents and staff of congregate care facilities and others with high risk health conditions. Will then roll into phase 2, which is teachers and other essential and critical workers. And then phase 3 will be individuals who are 65 plus but don't have an underlying health condition, along with anyone else who has a moderate risk health condition. And then the final phase will be the general public. And expectation is that this is going to be widely available to the general public by late spring, which is pretty tremendous. We've come incredibly far in a very short amount of time. And I know it's given tremendous hope just to so many of us in the community.
Okay, well, that's awesome. That is great. And then lastly, let's take a look at just sort of, where we're at going forward and sort of what's been kind of happening.
Well, I think one really exciting part about seeing the vaccine distribution actually begin is it feels like we can all stop kind of living in this sort of emergency response, kind of emergency phase of our lives. And I think that's true both at a personal level, and it's also certainly true, I think, for me when I think about my work in the Assembly. So when I am looking at the next year, I've really got 5 critical priorities. So number 1 is certainly COVID response and relief. Number 2 is economic recovery. There's a lot of work that we need to do to get California's economy back on track and booming again. Number 3 is education. We know that a lot of children have been learning at home. There's been a lot of learning loss that has been sustained over this period, and we've got to close that gap. I'm also going to continue to stay focused on environmental policy and the work I've been doing to protect the California coast. And lastly, I'm pleased to share that I have been reappointed to chair the Assembly's Accountability and Administrative Review Committee. And in that oversight role, I'm continuing to push for us to make government more efficient, more effective, and ensure that we are spending tax dollars wisely. So looking forward to focusing on that as I begin my second term.
Excellent, excellent. And then lastly, would you please go over the ways that our residents can get in touch with you?
Yes, absolutely. It's, I just want to say happy holidays to everyone at home. We know that this is a holiday season unlike any we've ever experienced, and we're all missing family, we're missing friends. Many of us are feeling isolated. And if there is anything that you need or anything that my office can do to help, please do not hesitate to reach out. And you can reach us by phone at 949-251-0074. For more information, you can also look at my website. The easiest way to find that is just to Google my first name, which is Cottie, Cottie. And happiest holidays and warmest wishes to everyone at home and to your families.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Happy holidays to you. And we'll see you in 2021.
Thank you so much, Lisa. Happy holidays. And yes, here's looking forward to a happy new year in 2021.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. And we'll be right back after